Hey, on screen with me are head coach of Long Beach State The Beach, Alan Knipe, and the back-to-back AVCA All-American Honorable Mention honoree, Aidan Knipe. Thanks for joining me here today, gentlemen.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Rob.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
Hey, I want to jump right to the first question to you for Al, and essentially, you return almost your entire starting lineup except for middle blocker Shane Holdaway. But it seems like you've really loaded up on talent for this upcoming season. But what differences, if any, could people see on the beach this year?
Well, yeah, we lost a couple of guys that were important to our team. Obviously, last year, Shane and Grant Maroki played a lot of matches for us in the middle, and obviously Spencer Olivier carried a big part of our offense for a few years. But we're a little deeper on the outside and a little healthier. We had a couple of guys that were dinged up last year and couldn't play all season, so that gives us some nice depth. We got some good recruits that came in to help us on the left and on the right. I think we have some exciting pieces in the middle to go along with Simon being just completing his first real year of being a middle blocker for us. Obviously, with Mason and Aidan holding down the libero and setting front, we feel pretty good about that. We have some depth to give it a different look, spell some guys, get some fresh legs in there, maybe some matchup opportunities. But it's been really exciting in our gym. It's been a great fall as far as the competition we've gotten in some of our fall tournament dates. Unfortunately, we dealt with the injury bug quite a bit in the fall, so hope we got that out of the way. And most of our guys here are nice and healthy at the end of the fall. So yeah, we're excited about it. It's just a wonderful group of guys, wonderful culture in our gym, like always, and these guys want to be really really good.
Good stuff, Al. And I'm going to bounce this question over towards Aiden because, being that he's a big part of the offense for the beach, but how do you feel like you played during the fall with these new pieces in place, and how could they make an impact to the 2024 team?
Well, it's nice. I've been able to have the luxury of playing with a lot of different really good pieces throughout my career, but we have a lot of depth this year. And although we dealt with a decent amount of injury in the fall and we kind of went in and out of that, there were still guys that were able to step up to the plate. And I think the biggest advantage that that gives us is the training level in our gym is just unbelievable. We can play at an extremely high level every day, interchanging pieces, no problem, and creates a very competitive environment for us.
I'm going to keep it on you there because there, I was about to say your dad, your coach, actually alluded to this already. I'm going to get stuck on that there, but you alluded to a very highly talented and competitive culture at the beach, and I feel like they're not just satisfied with tournament appearances; they want the whole shebang. But how do you maintain that level of competition and aura within your program and your locker room? And we'll start with Aiden and go back to Al, Dad, Coach.
All good.
Well, with TJ's and Josh and Kyle and those guys, their first year, 2016, it kind of, from then on, there's been kind of a culture instilled in the program of winning is a big deal. And not only winning, but trying to play in the last game of every season. So I think carrying on that legacy paired with the amount of talent that we have, there's it's really an expectation for us at this point to where we should be playing in the last match, and we truly believe that.
How about you, Al?
Yeah, you always want to work with the end in mind when you're putting teams together and season planning together. And there's so many different things that factor into a team's success that you don't have control over. But a lot of the things that you do have control over, which is the recruitment of highly talented, high character guys, guys that will buy into the big picture, guys that will buy into the greater good of the team. It's really hard. And I think this is true to a lot of men's volleyball programs. But you tend to have a bigger roster than a lot of sports. You definitely have a lot more guys than just your starting unit number. And so it's really important to spend a lot of time on the culture of the program and making sure everyone understands that you might not be in the role you want right now this part of the year, maybe even this whole year, but you're an important piece of this culture, and your role is going to be really important to us, whether it's in training, whether it's off the bench, whether it's a serving role. And it sounds easier than it really is to apply it, and that is um, trying to value each and every guy, trying to train each and every guy, uh, trying to make sure everybody's getting to their own individual highest level of success, and then being really good with the communication so that we can build the trust with the guys that if they are not in the role they want, they understand maybe why or what they can be doing to help the team and to hopefully be accomplishing some of their own individual goals they would like to see happen. So, it's a wonderful gym. It's a great group in which we're very fortunate year after year to have these guys. They're very tight on and off the court, and we're just excited to see how it all turns out. And we think we're going to see quite a few different guys at different times, and that's going to be a really good thing for us as the year goes on. Coming out of the last couple of years, especially COVID, the roster got really small, really fast, and we weren't real deep, and we were moving guys around, playing out of position. It's nice to be in a situation finally again. This will be the first year we're kind of back to not being in that situation.
Good stuff. Now let's look at your 2024 schedule as it comes up here. You start off the year playing actually three of the Northeast Conference teams or the NEC teams. Second year conference for them. So next year they will be eligible for the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. But how do you feel about that start, bringing those teams? Actually, you are hosting LIU and St. Francis and Merrimack are playing those three schools. But what do you think of those matchups that you're going out to these new teams?
Yeah, I like it. It's a unique approach to schedule. A lot of times we go to Canada at this time of the year and play against the Canadian teams that are a little further ahead than us, but they don't end up counting on our overall schedule, or they don't help us in RPI or anything like that. And it's so difficult. It's just difficult to get to our championship, never mind to win it. So a couple of things go into scheduling. That is obviously scheduling a good balanced schedule. Some of the criteria for RPI is obviously to have a well-rounded schedule, trying to play teams from all the conferences. And I think we did a good job of our national non-conference and getting the teams like the Penn States, the NJITs that we're going to play, and Lewis, and then getting some of the teams from the MPSF, and then getting some of the teams from the other conferences, and getting someone from each and every conference. I think it's important for the growth of the game. I think it's important for our guys also to have different experiences and not have the same Xerox approach to how we schedule. And because with this schedule, it also means you'll be going back to some of those schools, and you'll have a different trip in a different part of the country, and hopefully expose that part of the country to Long Beach State men's volleyball, and hopefully help their program also grow. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the whole schedule, and a lot of thought that went into it, and the help of my staff and the support of the athletic department, and understand what it is men's volleyball is trying to accomplish.
Yeah. I want to go over to Aidan for this one. You'd mentioned, Al, that you will be taking on some MPSF teams. So one that I had to highlight on the schedule is you take on national champion UCLA in February. But last time you saw them was an unfortunate loss in the semifinals of the 2023 NCAA men's volleyball tournament. But Aidan, are you looking forward to that match? And what do you think the matchup could be like?
Playing UCLA is always great. Them, Hawaii, really any high-level match, no matter what way the match goes, you always feel good after, just because it's such a hard-fought battle. And plus, I think it's good just for the sport in general, because those matches are always sellouts, whether it's UCLA or Hawaii or any of those guys. So, of course, I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully we can get show a better performance this year. But either way, good competitive volleyball is always fun.
Well, I'm going to follow up on that one there, Aidan, because one thing that I did notice within the last few seasons is the crowd support that you have at the Walter Pyramid. And it's up there with the BYUs and the Hawaiis as far as fan base. You've got quite the support. But what does that mean to you as an athlete to see that kind of support in the crowd?
Well, I think we do have the best fans in the country as far as men's volleyball goes, because you look around the country and not a lot of the programs have the same support that we do. And not only the fans and the donors, but we get to play in a beautiful venue in the Pyramid, and being able to host at least I think 22 home matches this year is going to be a huge blessing for us, just because it's a beautiful venue, and we love to show off to our local fans.
Yeah. And Al, you've made a huge effort to make that happen in the time that you've been at Long Beach State. But how important is it for you to get that support and especially have alumni kicking it at the Sandbar?
Yeah, it's really created a unique environment in the Pyramid. Obviously, the great athletes that we've had come through there, and the quality team volleyball we've been able to play has attracted people to come watch great volleyball. But also the athletic department commitment to and the president of Long Beach State's commitment to men's volleyball, and as far as the Terraflex floor and the environment and the idea of when Andy Fee put together the idea of the Sandbar and creating that on-floor experience for VIPs and alums. It's just a very unique experience, very different than the cookie-cutter approach that happens in lots of sports. And then you throw in the idea of the uniqueness of the Pyramid itself. And then I just think the athletic department's done such a good job over the years cultivating our student support, and that section is packed and excited to come to matches. It's it's very pleasing to see that. It's this is something John Speraw and I have talked about a number of different times of how good this is for the growth of the game. It's the reason why we do a home and away with UCLA. Obviously, the attendance number at both facilities gets real big in both of those matches. But I think there's some other ones that we have the potential for that as well. And obviously, the way our Big West Conference schedule works, where we have Hawaii home every other year, this happens to be a home year for us with UH, and those have always been good crowds, and the other matches within our conference. So it's exciting times. It's not just for Long Beach. When you're in this game, as long as I've been in this game, you're trying to move the mark. Having men's volleyball adopted by the Big West in 2019 was a really, really big deal. And the growth of men's volleyball throughout the country is a really big deal. The grassroots numbers that are exploding in boys volleyball is a really, really big deal. All of these things are adding up to what, as a head coach in the sport, you would like to do, and that is, leave it a little bit better than you found it, make a difference, move the mark. And I think all these things that are going on at Long Beach allow us to help move that mark just a little bit with some of the other big players in the game that's doing the same thing.
Well, it's all excellent stuff, without a doubt, after being or experiencing the Walter Pyramid and the crowds there. But, come March 1st, actually 2 weeks, March 1st, there's 3 particular weekends I'm looking for. You're hosting NCAA quarterfinalists, Penn State. Then you've got UC Santa Barbara series, and then you host Hawaii for 2. That is one gnarly trio of weekends for you. Expecting huge crowds, without a doubt, but what kind of energy, excitement can we expect, not only from your team, but also the crowd in the Pyramid?
Yeah, all the teams you mentioned have really good programs with a lot of talent on them. They all have good volleyball names and histories, so that makes it even easier for the crowd or makes it better for the crowd to get behind those matches. There's history to them. That's exciting, and all that's great, and it's really important to the game, for the administrators, for the alumni, for our current players, because no kid when they're growing up is laying around their bed thinking of playing college volleyball and thinking they want to play in front of a few people in a small gym that's maybe smaller than their high school gym or whatever it might be. That's not the environment. The environment you think of collegiate sports, collegiate environments, is that the energy of the band, the music, the student sections, the packed facility, good teams, high level volleyball, high stakes. And, as Aidan said earlier, win or lose, and obviously we're in it to win as many as we can. Those are the matches as the years go by. You remember as a player and a coach, when we have alumni events, when we have former players come back, they're rare. They rarely talk about some of the blowouts or the whatever it might be, matches that didn't fall into those categories I just mentioned. They talk about these wonderful experiences, these high stake moments, these collegiate opportunities. And that's what I'm probably most pleased about, is that we can deliver that to our fan base, to our students, to our community, to our alumni, and most importantly, to the current student athletes who are putting in all the work. They deserve to play in front of that type of crowd and with that kind of energy in the building.
Yeah. Well, this question I'm going to try and bounce to Aidan, because Long Beach State is hosting the NCAA Men's Division I, II National Championships again. It was a phenomenal event in 2019, which I have privileged to witness firsthand, resulting in a national championship for Long Beach State. But what does it mean for the Big West, the city of Long Beach, and your program as your athletes and your venue and your school hosts it again?
Well, unfortunately, I wasn't even able to make the first one in 2019 because I was playing CIF. So I was bummed. I was really bummed, and we ended up losing to Miracosta anyway. So I felt like I just kind of wasted my time, and I would have rather watch Long Beach win. But it's really nice, and selfishly, it's really nice for me just because it's my 5th year, final season, and I get to end it at home. So obviously, I'm looking forward to that. But it's the city of Long Beach does a very good job of not only hosting the event, but gives a very good environment surrounding the event and lots of different attractions for fans, whether they're coming in or just visiting the area. But the Pyramid is a very special venue, not only to me, but I think all volleyball players could agree that it's very unique. And I think it's creates a very intense but intimate environment, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Al, anything to add on that? For plug for the national championship?
Yeah, we've done it a couple of times, and the reason why we've been able to do it is because of the people that work within our athletic department and the community members that help out. Because each time we do something, each time we host it, whether it's the Big West Conference tournament or the Final Four, the feedback is always so great because the people we have here, they're willing to wear a million different hats and roll up their sleeves and get after it. So the credit goes to all of them. We're the talent, we're the volleyball people get to watch, but as everyone knows who's part of things like that, it takes the athletic department, it takes the university, it takes the community, it takes lots of volunteers and a lot of people working way outside the scope of their job description. So we have great people that work here and great people who are committed to it. So I expect the event to be great again for the athletes and all the athletes that will play in it. They deserve it.
Two final questions for you both. And the first one to get towards Al, but what's the best thing about being able to coach your son?
It's an absolute pleasure. It's easily the greatest thing that I've ever been able to accomplish professionally. It's just such a treat to be going through this experience with Aidan. I've coached so many different kids over the years, which has been wonderful. But to travel with Aidan, to train every day with Aidan, the passion with this university our family has, his personality, his work ethic, his commitment to improvement himself physically, and everything he's went through, this toughness. It's been so fun to watch it and watch it develop to the player he's become this year. And he's the type of kid who comes in. You don't have to push Aidan to do much. He's always going to be one of the hardest working guys in the gym, the weight room. He's already graduated early. He's in his master's, and so it's not like you have to do a lot of poking. So you be able to sit back and talk volleyball and talk experiences and philosophies. And it's a bright setter for us, and it's been an experience of a lifetime.
Well, on the other side of the coin, Aidan, how's it like, or what's the best thing about playing for your dad?
Well, I wouldn't only just say my dad, but I think he touched on it as well. It's kind of a whole family affair. My mom doesn't get a lot of credit, but she also went to Long Beach, and then my brother was a dirtbag. So I think it's really special between me and my dad, of course, but it's really special for my family just because we all get to kind of share this common bond. And obviously, being in the gym with my dad every day and getting to play these big matches has definitely strengthened our relationship and kind of added a new facet than we had previously when I was just in high school or growing up or whatever. So this was obviously something special to me, and I'm looking forward to finishing it on a high note in this last year and seeing where it can take us.
Excellent. Alan Knipe, head coach of Long Beach State. Aidan Knipe, setter of Long Beach State. Thanks for joining me this afternoon.
Awesome.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.